And we are learning new details about a police chase in North Lubbock that ended with 2 motorcycle officers hurt and a suspect in custody. Investigators say a Lubbock PD officer spotted 22-year-old Charles Sykes speeding on West Loop just before 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The officer tried to stop him, but Sykes sped off, sparking a police chase. He eventually crashed into another vehicle while turning into an apartment complex parking lot. 2 motorcycle officers were also involved in a minor crash during that pursuit when one of them stopped in front of the other. Officers and K-9 units did surround that apartment and arrested Sykes without incident. Both of the motorcycle officers were taken to UMC with minor injuries. They were treated and released. As for Sykes, he is currently in the Lubbock County Detention Center, charged with evading arrest and violating his parole. Sykes also had warrants for engaging in organized crime and ID fraud.